Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Police seek assistance in reuniting elderly woman with relatives. The police are appealing to the public for assistance in reuniting an elderly woman with her relatives. According to a release, the woman, who was unable to give her name, address, or any information, was found wandering along the Mullines Road, St. Andrew on Monday afternoon. She was taken to the Halfway Tree police station. Anyone with information that can assist the police to identify her or her relatives is asked to contact the Halfway Tree Police at 876-926-8185 or the Police 119 number. Mother of children who perish in fire regrets leaving them. Maisie Walters, the mother of two young children who perished in a house fire in Racecourse earlier this year, is still struggling to accept the reality that she have to move on without them. And even as she grieves the loss, she constantly blames herself for not taking them with her that fateful day like she always do. From my baby them dead, my belly not stop hurt me. A bare pain in my belly, till sometime me feel like me I go get off. It better me did carry them. Better me never left my baby them with my sister, cause them a walk and I tell people say me never left my baby with them. She agonized. Walter said on the morning of Thursday, March 24, her children's father made a breakfast and then left for work a short distance away. It wasn't much, so me cook and finish and wash up back the plate them and put out the fire, and everything was good. My sister was cooking, and when me leave, me left the door open and me locked the gate, and the baby them never in the house. What happened next, she said, was unimaginable and unexpected, as she doesn't see herself as a careless mother. When me go drop off the food and me a come back, me see her run from the yard as a fire. When me run in the yard, me start to look for the two baby them. When me ask her son when me baby them there, him say them in the house. When me reach, me couldn't go in there in no more, but she could have saved them. She not even bawl out for help. She run out of the yard and say me a go to prison, and she now come with me cause of me picking them. Walters, who is epileptic and hypertensive, passed out at the scene of the fire and had to be rushed to the Lioneltown Hospital as the reality of losing her two youngest children began to set in. Me no deserve this. Make jovial to people. Me no cuss or make trouble. The day when the house burned down, people in the community tell the police that I never leave them with anybody. Anywhere me I go, me always carry them. And they don't know what happened that day, why I left them with my sister. Sometimes when I go to the days, I work and carry them. Me always make sure say them dey on my foot. Me not tell her no lie, it rough bad. Me no know what them a go do when me go back a court. Me a fret on it, and if anything, what will happen to my next child, she said. She is to return to court early next month. According to Walters, life has not been the same, and the relationship with her sister and mother has soured since, as she has had to be staying with her sister-in-law at a house not far from where the incident took place. She says she is barely managing to cope since the incident, and up to the time of the interview, she had not received any counseling. Even while she grapples to cope with the loss, the children's father and sister are also struggling with the tragedy in their own way. My 7-year-old is not coping well. She not talking anything with sense. She keeps saying her sister them are no dead. She say, Mommy, my sister them burn up and you not even go to hospital go look for them. And I don't know how to tell her that they are dead and them now come back, she said. The mother spent 3 nights in lockup and was released on bail when she appeared in court. 4-year-old Abigail and 3-year-old sister Kayla Tomlinson burned to death in the fire. CCTV for 6 problem schools. Vicious fights, a proliferation of weapons, and illicit activities among students have led to a decision to equip 6 schools across the island with closed-circuit television surveillance systems, for starters, with talks of linking them to the National Camera Surveillance Program, Jamaica Eye. According to Director of the Safety and Security in Schools Union, Richard, the decision to put extra eyes on the ground of Grange Hill High School in Westmoreland, Hopewell High School in Hanover, Aracabessa High School in St. Mary, Papine High School in St. Andrew, Denhamtown High School in Kingston, and Etham High School in St. Catherine was informed by the Education Ministry ongoing audit of CCTV surveillance system in schools as well as its critical incident investigations. He said the frequency with which officials have been called to treat with particular matters such as fights, or proliferation of weapons, breaches in the perimeter fences, and smoking and gambling in some spaces had triggered the approaches. In addition, Richard said the vulnerability of the spaces because of where they are located and challenges in the physical environment, the setup of schools and the many blind spots that exist, and the need for consistent monitoring were additional push factors. The need is great, there are many vulnerable spots, so those 6 schools were shortlisted, Richard told reporters, adding that the ministry is also planning to meet out with some treatment to other schools with similar flaws. The commitment of the ministry is to ensure that we are providing this level of support to a set of number of schools each year. If we are able to find additional resources within our budget for other schools to benefit in this fiscal year, we will also consider that because technology really helps, he said. In the meantime, the Safety and Security in Schools Unit head told reporters that efforts are underway to ensure that the stock of metal detectors in high schools are in good working order. Currently, all high schools have been given metal detectors. We are in the process near completion of an audit to determine if those detectors are working. We have some in inventory that we are releasing to schools that indicated that their detectors are defective. The principle is that each school must have at least 2 handheld detectors. For walk-through metal detectors, we are also doing an audit because some might need repairs. That audit is near completion, and it is to ensure that the company that we procure them from will be sent to the schools to do the repairs at our cost, he said. Figures for the cost of the audit were not immediately available. Meanwhile, Richard said the latest effort complement the long-held partnership with the Community Safety and Security branch of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, which has been affected because of the manpower shortages. There are about 176 school resource officers that would have been supporting our system. Recently, it was indicated that an additional 50 people were in training. Unfortunately, because of the issue with boots on the ground not being enough, the traditional approach of having 2 officers working at a school for the entire day is not the option being pursued now. So what we have now is the officers are assigned to schools, but they provide satellite services. So the deans or principals have their contact and will call them if required, Richard explained. Highway headache. Opposition spokesman on Transport and Works, Michael Phillips, is calling for the contractor of the US $188 million Maypen to Williamsfield leg of Highway 2000 and the company responsible for oversight of the project to swiftly address concern of residents affected by the highway's construction. Following a tour of the St. Toulis in Manchester last Thursday, Phillips said China Harbour Engineering Company, CCHEC, and the National Road Operating and Constructing Company, NROCC, need to address serious flooding concerns, dust nuisance, and safety hazards. After doing the tour with members of the community that the highway is passing through, there are a few things that make me very concerned. First thing is how the contractor treats the residents that are impacted by the construction, he said. Now we are in 2022, and it is as if we have dictators trying to dictate to residents, he added. Phillips pointed to the lack of safety barriers and the continued protest by residents over the dust nuisance caused by the highway construction. How is it that the contractors cut the hillside away without even any safety barriers for falling rocks coming down into the communities, he asked. He added that the level of drainage work now on the highway is unacceptable as it will cause flooding in communities like St. Toulis. When I look right here, this is a main road going into St. Toulis and the water drain is coming right down into the main road, so during construction, the community is impacted, he said. However, Stephen Edwards, managing director at NROCC, which is responsible for overseeing the design, construction and maintenance of Jamaica's highways, told reporters that work is currently in progress on the drainage features in the St. Toulis area. Hence, people are now observing drainage system, which the contractor is still constructing. It is important to note that drainage designs were done for the 100-year return period for the worst-case scenario, he explained. The highway project, which will reduce travel time between Kingston, Mandeville, and Points West is now 73% complete and is fast advancing, which is expected to be completed ahead of March 2023 deadline. Phillips urged NROCC and the National Works Agency to properly oversee various aspects of the project. The community has been impacted by backslides already. You look here now, this is road construction. We are not against development. What we are asking is for the development to work in tandem with the people and not treat the people as if they are non-existent in the middle of the construction, he said. We should not forget that the owner of the contract is the government of Jamaica and not CCHEC, he said. He noted there needs to be greater dialogue with affected residents to have their concerns addressed. The residents who I have met with are going to be greatly impacted. They say that they have been waiting for over a week now for the Member of Parliament Manchester South Robert Chin and Councillor Claudia Morant-Baker Post Division to come and sit with them, he said. This project itself is impacting the lives of many, and this that I am seeing here is unacceptable, and an explanation needs to be had with the residents, he explained. However, Edwards said NROCC representatives are regularly present on the construction site. Residents of all communities along the construction alignment are constantly engaged. NROCC continues to encourage people to bring all their concerns to the attention of the agency or contractor. All complaints received are logged and addressed. At present, records show that 90% of complaints have been resolved, up from 70% in 2021, he explained. He said NROCC is greatly concerned about unauthorized vehicles to the active construction site. The agency received reports that groups of people unrelated to the project traverse various sections of the construction site without permission and without the required construction personal protective equipment. This is a major breach of safety standards and presents serious risk. NROCC is requesting an immediate stop to this unsafe practice, he said. Meanwhile, Phillips reiterated his concern about flooding risk, which he believed the highway will bring to communities. I have made it known from even before the start of the construction, water runs from uphill to downhill. You're seeing it out at the beginning of the highway that the culverts are inadequate to take the water flow downhill to head into the sea, he said. At the beginning of the highway on the Mapen side, there has been a damming of water. Once we have a day or two of rain, there is a damming of water, so you're having problems with the mosquitoes. You're having problems with flooding, he added. He claimed that the treatment of residents affected by the project in Manchester and Clarendon is different from in urban areas. It is good development for the country, but it cannot be that there is one standard for some and another for others. They would not treat the residents of Kingston and St. Andrew during construction as they are treating the folks in South Manchester and in Clarendon, he stated. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.